Hey everybody, this is PJ Reilly from Lancaster Archery here at the ATA Show 2018. I, of course, am at the Mathews booth with Lakosky, Levi Morgan, and we're going to talk about the Triax today. First, guys, you both hunted with this season. Give me your initial impressions.
For me, the best bow I've ever shot. And, you say that every year and it seems almost like cliched, but this one is an absolute for sure. I mean, there's a bigger difference. This bow, there's a huge difference from every other bow that I've shot as far as, just noise reduction and vibration free and just being lightning fast too. I mean, it was my favorite bow, and I had my best season ever with it too.
Nice. Levi, what do
Yeah, I think we both came from shooting a 32, and when I saw the specs on this, I was a little concerned, but from the minute I shot it, I fell in love with it, and absolutely sacrificed zero accuracy, even long range, out 100 plus yards, and just been super impressed with it. It's quiet, fast. It's a little killing machine for sure.
Now, the question we've been getting at Lancaster Archery about the Triax, we get a lot of positive feedback on it, but guys who are concerned about it, they say, well, it's 28 inches axle to axle. I shoot 29, 30 inches. You guys are both long draw length. Give me your draw lengths and tell me why that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I have a 30-inch draw length, and I don't know if you have 30 and a half. Yeah, so I mean, it obviously it doesn't affect us at all. For me, one of my favorite bows before was the short bows, and so I just like for maneuverability and even putting it on your backpacks and stuff. And the only difference for me is like on a 32, my head's basically straight up when it comes across the corner of my mouth to touching my nose, and just I tip my head down slightly, but it doesn't make any difference to me. It's just a little bit different in my head. It's not enough where my hat touches or anything like that. It's I guess like you said, it probably depends on where you anchor.
Yeah.
But for me, it doesn't make any difference if it's a 32 axle to axle or a 28. But like we were talking about yesterday too, I mean the cams are fairly big on this. If you look where the string comes off, it's really not like at 28. I mean it's more shoots like a 30-inch axle to axle basically.
You're going from like 38, 40-inch target bows to this. How is that?
Well, that was my transition from the TRX-8 which is a 40-inch bow, to a 28-inch bow for hunting season, and so I was a little worried about moving into that. But honestly, aiming wise, if I was at full draw, I'd have never known which bow I was holding. I mean, it just aims like a rock, and like he said, the cams are so big. I mean, the string angle, you can't really judge what the string angle is going to be by the axle to axle, because it's really not even relative on this bow because the cams are so big. And it shoots and aims like a lot bigger bow, which is great because I love the idea of a compact bow hunting, even mountain hunting, whitetail blinds, whatever. You just never know it's there, and you can pull it off and shoot, and you don't have to sacrifice any distance or any accuracy. And just in love with it, really am. And we were talking yesterday, it's hard to explain the difference in this bow from past bows or any other bows on the shelves at the stores until people actually go shoot them. So we can sit here and tell you all day long, but until you actually shoot it, you don't really know the difference. But as soon as you do that, there'll be no question.
Did you guys notice, when I shot it, the thing I noticed was the lack of vibration. Not that there was much in the Halon series, but I was like, I can't believe this has even less vibration than that. Did that hit you as well?
Oh, for sure. And really when I got it, the first Triax, it didn't even have graphics on the limbs or anything. It was in the summer. And when you shoot it right away without shooting anything else next to it, it was like, oh man, this feels good. And then you shot it like for several weeks before we went on our first hunting trips in August. So I just grabbed one of my Halons and said, okay, for my backup bow, because I only had one Triax, and I shot it and I was like, whoa, now you really notice the difference. But I didn't have a stabilizer on it. I said, well, I better put a stabilizer on. So I put that on, and even then it was like, oh my gosh. And that's where, when they released it, I went on our Facebook myself, which I usually never do anything like that, but I was so impressed with that difference, I couldn't believe it, because last year, the 32 against all other bows was basically the most vibration-free, quietest bow on the market, and I couldn't believe what a big step they made.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. Like we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it a lot. It's like just to make an incremental improvement on a bow. You think, how far can they go? I mean, it's not like Ford or Chevy doesn't come out with a new truck every year. It's like 6 or 8 years in between trying to figure out some engineering things to make it better. And they try to do it every year. This is a big jump. It's not a very small incremental. You'll notice it when you shoot it next to other bows.
Yeah. Levi, talk about speed. What you noticed on your hunts this year? How was the speed on it?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny you asked that, but like I've trained myself on whitetails as well as probably anybody that hunts a lot to aim low. Past 30 yards, most mature animals are going to turn inside out when they hear that bow go off, and so I've just trained myself to aim lower third and normally hit stuff right in the lungs, because they're ducking 6-8 inches,
Yeah.
Well, this year I just kept hitting stuff in the heart and kept hitting it low in the heart, and I'm going, man, I'm flirting with, disaster down there. So we start reviewing footage, and I'm like, we're putting our finger on the heart and watching, and these deer at 40, 50, 60 yards are just standing there taking the shot, and so this bow for me shooting about 320 feet a second, which is the fastest hunting bow I've ever had.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think that was a true testament to how quiet this bow is as well as fast. That deer just weren't reacting. I mean, alert deer, like my last hunt in Mississippi, we had a 6-year-old buck spook out to 51 yards, and so I pinned him low just out of instinct, and he never moved an inch the whole way. Just stood there and watched. I mean, it was unbelievable. I've never seen that in a whitetail. So I think that's a pretty good testament to how quiet this bow is. So.
Mathews Triax, you heard it right there from the pros here at ATA. If you got any questions, you can visit us at lancasterarchery.com.